This one's wife. Ridiculed again. Who is it this time? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. When you're a public figure, it is inevitable that you will find yourself facing two aspects. The first is that there will be people who like you, possibly even adore you. And then there will be people who criticize you, may even be hateful towards you. They may find you disgusting. That is because the world is full of opinions and differing perspectives, and as a public figure, it is part of being that public figure that you have to take the brickbats with the bouquets. Certain individuals recognize that and realize it's part and parcel of being a public figure and don't let it trouble them. Others become perturbed by the level of vitriol that might be directed towards them, and naturally, where that is directed towards a narcissist, it proves to be challenge fuel. The highly provocative narcissist, as I've explained elsewhere, laps it up, loves engaging in the shithousery and the howling outrage that follows thereafter. But many narcissists do not operate in that way, and whilst they will take the fuel that is on offer, the repeated criticisms threaten their need for control with the consequential necessity of dealing with it through one of the three assertions of control. Notwithstanding the fact that this happens to most public figures, I think it's fair to say that out of them all, this one's wife and Harry find themselves subjected to ridicule more than perhaps anybody else. This is because they are internationally well known, something which they have sought to achieve. Despite their claims of wanting privacy, they've completely acted in the opposite direction, courting publicity wherever they go, particularly as a consequence of this one's wife's necessity of the pursuit of the prime aims, by issuing PR puff pieces so that she's kept in the public eye. She believes that she ought to be adored. She believes that she ought to be admired. She believes that she ought to be loved, because the delusion of her narcissism tells her that she is this magnificent, empathetic individual that cares deeply about the world, has everything that is meaningful to tell you about it, and is an interesting and entertaining person. She is detached from reality because of the distortion field of her narcissism. This thirst for publicity, which enables her to control and to draw fuel, results in her engaging in a variety of activities which only serve to highlight her lack of talent, her lack of charisma, and her general unpleasantness. This results in ridicule. We've seen before the excellent ridicule that came from South Park, and then Family Guy, and certain comedians. And, naturally, there is almost daily ridicule of the Sussexes across social media because they quite simply are a preposterous couple. And they've found themselves to be the subject of ridicule once again. But who is it? Is it the British media up to their old tricks of apparently always looking to do them down? Well, no, it's not. It's closer to home. Somewhere, therefore, in the United States, which again puts paid to the repeated bleating of the gruesome twosome that so is the Brits that have it in for them. After all, the Hollywood Reporter made clear mention of the bullying antics of this one's wife. Well, in this instance, the ridicule is particularly close to home, as it comes from the Monty Shitshow Journal. Yes, the Grapevine, written by Richard Miniards, tells us Prince Harry and wife, this one's wife, have no plans to return to the United Kingdom with their children Archie and Lilibet. Well, that's not new news. As explained on many occasions, this one's wife's narcissism is preventing her from a return to the United Kingdom because it poses such a threat to her need for control. The article continues by explaining that Prince Harry, the Riven Rock resident, opened up about his decision to stay in the United States at the annual New York Times Dealbook Summit in Manhattan. The Sussexes have called Monty Shitshow home for 4 years after leaving the United Kingdom and quitting as working members of the royal family. "I really enjoy living here and bringing up my kids here," said King Charles III's youngest son. He said he wanted to be the best husband and best dad, dashing recent divorce rumours. The strapline then states, "Local couple stays home for holidays," which is clearly a piss take of them, because, once again, they've been not fucking invited to Sandringham, as they're viewed as troublesome, and therefore the invitation has not been forthcoming. So, whilst King Charles hosts 45 people or so at Sandringham, as the family all gathers and they engage in carolling around the Christmas tree and exchanging presents, at Monty Shit Show it'll be a much more pared down and far less entertaining gathering that takes place. Presumably this one's wife will be there with some imagined friends in order to make it seem like she's popular. But the Monty Shit Show Journal continues with its ridicule of Harry and this one's wife by stating, "Local couple stays home for holidays. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are set to spend Yuletide in our rarefied enclave with their children Archie and Lilibet, having not been invited yet again to the royal family's Christmas festivities in Sandringham House in Norfolk, the sprawling 20,000-acre estate built by Queen Victoria for her son King Edward VII, according to the New York Post. But at least they won't be short of activities, given all our Eden by the beach has to offer. I'm sure the youngsters would love to make their first visit to the Granada to see the State Street Ballet's enchanting Nutcracker, and welcome in 2025 with the Santa Barbara Symphony's New York Eve's Pops concert, also at the same splendid auditorium." Now, this publicises two events that are taking place in Monty's Shit Show and demonstrates that, of course, this one's wife and Harry have not been seen at them previously, which supports repeated reports that they are rarely seen in the area and that they don't integrate with other people. These suggestions are made, and then the writer adds, "The community awaits." Then they write, "Local couple friends with neighbours," which, of course, demoting them to the status of local couple, which is entirely accurate, is again demonstrative of the ridicule that's taking place. Prince Harry didn't have to look far for a star act to open his Invictus Games in Canada in February. His near neighbour, Santa Barbara warbler, Katy Perry, is winging to Vancouver for the occasion. The 40-year-old former Dos Pueblos high student is the biggest star to perform at the biannual event, attended by the Duke of Sussex and his actress wife, this one's wife. Katie and her British actor fiancé, Orlando Bloom, are good friends with the Sussexes and live just a tiara's toss or two away. Accordingly, this one's wife and Harry are referred to as a local couple who are friends with the neighbours and that they stay home for the holidays, pointedly demonstrating that they haven't been invited to Sandringham, and once again demonstrating how even the locals don't like them by referring to them as a local couple that likes living here, a local couple that stays home for the holidays, and a local couple who's friends with the neighbours. This isn't the British media. It isn't even the national media in the United States, but it's the very media on their doorstep which shows that they are held in contempt by the very people that they would think would welcome them and love having them live there. It once again demonstrates what an unpleasant duo they are and how nearly everybody cannot stand them. Problem, of course, for the narcissist that is this one's wife, who believes that everybody ought to love her, but even the locals can't stand her or her husband. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.